Hey Fabio, how you doing?
Hey, Richie, how's it going? Good, thank you.
I'm doing
You can hear me?
fantastic. Thanks you.
You can hear
Thank
me okay.
Yeah, I can hear you great. Thank you for
Awesome.
joining. We're already live. We've already got over
Oh,
50
cool.
people on the stream, and
Awesome.
I'm very excited to speak to you about this news today. This is very big news. Can I ask you just a quick question before I get into the news?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of our members is in Germany, and I know you have an
Mhm.
American listing and you have a Canadian listing. He's requesting a German listing. Is that something you've
Right.
thought of?
Yeah, we're valuing the Frankfurt, absolutely. Yeah, you're one of that visitor is not the only one that's been asking. So we're evaluating it now to do that, and we probably do that. I would say by the sometime before the summertime
Great.
to get that. So it's an active, but it's not simple as turn the switch on, if you will.
Okay, great. Now let's get
Yeah.
into this news because I think this is enormous news. The title states PharmaTher announces successful completion of pre-IND meeting with FDA for the clinical development of ketamine in the treatment of Parkinson's disease.
Mhm.
Whoa, that's big.
Yeah, yeah, that was one of our actually that was our first license that we executed with the University of Arizona early last year, I should say, in Q3 of last year. And what the purpose was that the researchers at the University of Arizona, Dr. Scott Sherman and Dr. Torsten Falk, they serendipity, they figured that ketamine was helpful in Parkinson's patients to treat their dyskinesia or their tremors, if you will. They originally were looking with ketamine just to treat some of their Parkinson's patients' pain and as you know, the side effects of Parkinson's patients. If anyone knows who has Parkinson's, they do have suffer from whether different forms of depression, if you will. So what was unique about this is that they found, this was about several years back, that their dyskinesia has literally halted some patients from 4 weeks even up to 3 months. And actually there's a publication, a paper, which you can find in our investor deck or on our website if you'd like to read it, to show that these really, I wouldn't like to say miracle type cases, but another improvement that how ketamine beyond its depression or pain that can help another subset of patients that was never really being evaluated for. So the good thing with PharmaTher is that now we have the exclusive license to advance ketamine in Parkinson's disease. So the idea was to go to the FDA, which is, and give you a little education to your viewers here, is that a company or a sponsor will look to the FDA for guidance on how to develop the clinical program of the said product. So in our case, we filed a pre-IND meeting request with the FDA to understand what their expectations are for ketamine to treat in Parkinson's disease, or more specifically, to treat the levodopa-induced dyskinesia in Parkinson's disease. Levodopa is a gold standard in Parkinson's patients, but however, over time, it doesn't help. So there's an unmet medical need for these patients to have a new therapy that can help stop their dyskinesia. So we sent out to the FDA on two fronts. One, do they accept for us of our proposal to conduct a phase 2 study to evaluate a number of Parkinson's patients and their dyskinesia over a 3-month period, based on the Parkinson's kind of primary efficacy scale that's been validated in Parkinson's clinical studies, to see if we can get agreement on that study. Then the second half is, what is the regulatory pathway that we can pursue with our program to get commercial approval from the FDA? So there's a number of pathways you can take. We opted obviously for what is called the 505(b)(2) regulatory pathway. And what that means is that a company like us using ketamine, which is an approved drug for anesthesia, is that we don't have to do all the non-clinical or phase 1 in healthy subjects, if you will, studies. We can leap to a phase 2 clinical study, and more so evaluate in that phase 2 study all the different endpoints or parameters, both from a safety and efficacy of these Parkinson's patients, which would then, the data would set up to allow for us to move towards a pivotal clinical study, which that would probably take place sometime in next year. So this is exciting for us because you literally reduce that time frame for a drug to get approval from whether it's say 5, it's even 10 years in the traditional new drug applications or new drug, new chemical entities to an existing one, and you can reduce that even to say even anywhere between 3 to 5 years for approval. And we're already ahead of that. So this is a really game changer in the sense of for Parkinson's patients. And that's evident with the people we have on board with us, not beyond the inventors from University of Arizona. We have Dr. Robert Hauser from South Florida University, then Dr. Alberto Espe from the University of Cincinnati. They are, leaders in their field. So, this is a really, a unique program for us to kind of kick off our clinical stage pipeline to go to the FDA and to really actually then expand our ketamine programs in depression, in pain, and all the other even motor disorders that ketamine could be useful for. So really, in essence, PharmaTher has become, it's kind of evolved to this specialty psychedelic company with a particular focus with ketamine, both from use of novel uses of ketamine, but also in formulations for ketamine and delivering in a different way, such as a microneedle patch, which we announced even earlier this week with respect to our license with Professor Donnelly's microneedle delivery technology that's already shown to deliver S-ketamine, which is the same drug that J&J markets to patients with depression, but in a form of a nasal spray. So, we have all these great developments going on, and I'm just happy that, again, from our last interviews, that you understand, you recognize our value of our company and really sharing our story with your viewers and followers. So thank you, Richie, for that.
It's important that we find undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed companies. I mean, that's what we do best. And it's important for the companies to gain the exposure. So we kind of help each other here. It's something that Parkinson's is something that is destroying families. It's a terrible disease. What is it exactly that you're doing? Like, how is it helping people with Parkinson's? What is it doing? Like, how is it helping people with Parkinson's? Can you explain that in layman's terms?
Yeah, absolutely. If you know anyone with who has Parkinson's, a lot of it, and you can just take the case of Michael J. Fox. So everyone,
Yes.
well-known Parkinson's
great example.
Patient, right? So everyone can now visualize that, and you see how not only from the movements but the tremors, the shaking, which is we call this the dyskinesia of these patients that experience on a daily basis at multiple times during the day. Now, imagine a drug that can not only reduce these tremors and these sporadic movements, if you will, on a daily basis, but for a longer period of time, but also halting that. That's what ketamine's doing. And that's just from, what Parkinson's does to these patients. As a side effect is they're always experiencing some sort of pain. There is definitely depression. That's because of being socially limited into what they can do. Now, the idea of going to the grocery store, going to your car, going to the grocery store and shop, that becomes a difficult endeavor. So ketamine showing, even at these early stages with these patients that's been tested already, is that they're stopping this kind of these dyskinesia or tremors. So this is a very, so it's a game changer, right? So now it's our job is to now, look, ketamine's out there, right? But it can't be used to treat these Parkinson's because there's no clinical I guess you can say clinical meaningful basis to have that approval. So that's what we're trying to do in these clinical studies, is now to take a larger set of population, showing it being statistically significant that it can improve or decrease the dyskinesia in these patients and offer another option in their treatment for Parkinson's. And the spillover, or what you like to say is the gravy, is, that can also have help on the pain side of these Parkinson's patients, as well as even depression, because now you've improved their way of living with this therapy. And that's what we're set out to do.
Now, Fabio, we work with so many companies and branding is everything. One thing I've noticed with PharmaTher, you've got PharmaTher, which is your subsidiary, but you're operating under Newscope Capital Corp.
Yes.
Am I predicting the future here? You're going to do a name change to PharmaTher?
Yes, absolutely. So
I figured.
So Richie, this is one of the most painful things that besides dealing with FDA and what all these other, having our name at Newscope. This is a legacy issue that we had to deal with when we merged with this company and conducted a non-offering prospectus to go list on the CSE. So we kind of adopted that name. So really, Newscope is the parent, but it's fully operated under PharmaTher. So yes, shareholders, we will do that flip where we're in the process of changing our name so that there's a commonality in how we describe our company. So this is, be quite frankly, and I see now you experience yourself. It's irritating to me, and I'm the CEO of the company. So
and that's why I'm bringing it up, because I can see the way you're writing your press releases. It's Newscope, but then right in the beginning, it's PharmaTher. So it's like it's a little bit of a disconnect for investors. And I think by having the name change, and I've seen this with other companies, it's going to be a major catalyst because there will be no disconnect, there will be no confusion. It'll be PharmaTher. And then that's all you have to put in your press releases. That's all that everyone will be mentioning. That's the name everyone will be talking about. But a lot of times I'm talking about Newscope Capital, then I'm talking about PharmaTher. So people get confused. They think they're two different deals. Right. So I just figured that it would be a natural progression to just move towards PharmaTher as the name that you guys are operating under.
Yes, and absolutely, that's going in process. So that's definitely on the top, one of the top priorities for our company.
That's fantastic. Now, as an undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed company that's just getting started, that's trending up, all this great news coming, what else can investors look forward to? I know you guys have a lot of things going on. Is there anything else that we can look forward to in addition to what you're working on right now with this deal with Parkinson's?
Yeah, absolutely. So, right now with the Parkinson's, just to kind of close this loop, is that our next stage is to file what it's called as an investigational new drug application to the FDA to allow us to conduct our phase 2 studies and also set the foundation for the clinical development of that program. So that's like the next catalyst for this specific program. Now, the next another major catalyst that we're moving towards is our Ketabet program, which Ketabet is the combination of ketamine and another drug called betaine. That combination, which is patents been granted, and we do have the worldwide rights to this program, is that this is a formulation that will allow, this combination formulation will allow in the treatment for treatment-resistant depression. That's our target we're going after. So our next step with this program is to file our pre-IND meeting with the FDA to understand the clinical study, the phase 2 clinical study that we're going to be proposing to them for allow us to conduct for these treatment-resistant to depression. So within that meantime, we're also building our core competency or advisory board in depression so that we can really have a world, I guess you can say, a leading experts on this program to really drive this over. So that would be from the Ketabet program, the foundational for depression, which then can also, I consider this program more of a pipeline program for other indications that we can go after, such as PTSD. Maybe it would be anxiety. Anything that ketamine could be useful for. This combination, what it does is that it reduces the side effects and in some cases even potentially to eliminate these side effects that ketamine has, such as hallucination, amnesia, nausea, all these things. And specifically with ketamine, using it on a chronic basis, right? And there are other side effects that can also happen that would any institutional type disorders as well. So we can eliminate that or even reduce these side effects over the long term with this formulation. So in fact, we under promoted in sense of what the potential is, but because I'm particularly more of a fundamentalist, I like the data speak for itself and then let the audience, whether it's the medical community, investor community, to decide whether this is the de facto or the treatment that's coming to be. There's great treatments being worked on now. I mean, you look at even Compass with their psilocybin program. You have J&J who has their Spravato nasal spray and esketamine spray that's marketed right now. The difference is between ours and theirs is that what we're trying to do that's differentiated is that we will allow to give the patients to treat their ailments, which is say depression, at the comfort of their home, whether it would be in a microneedle patch or in a drug that allow them to take to the use at home on that daily basis, as opposed to other treatments such as psilocybin or ketamine. You have to go to the clinic, do the whole setup and whatnot, and you can stay up to even between several hours to even up to 8 hours for the day for that single treatment. So we're trying to change that game to what people are used to treat their ailments is go to the pharmacy, get your prescription, bring it home, take it, and have it make it work so it can control or even treat their disease. So that's what we're doing with this with Ketabed, and you'll see that progress forward with that. Now, with that, not to just gloss over that, but you'll see that that's going to be more milestones coming to be. We also have our psilocybin program that we're actually working to look at psilocybin for treatment in stroke and then the treatment of traumatic brain injury, even specifically concussions. Wow. Now we're conducting early stage preclinical research, and with that efforts is that's going to be to us is going to allow to open up the field and maximize the potential psilocybin. But not only with that, we have other IP that's involved with psilocybin, and we are, because we've kind of now evolved this specialty ketamine company, we are going to, and we've signed a binding LOI with Revive Therapeutics that'll allow them to continue their psilocybin efforts, and we're parking, if you will, our program to Revive, and for an exchange for an undisclosed amount fee, which we'll announce once we close it, but that will allow for the company to have a non-dilutive funding for the company to allow us to fund our phase 2 program. So this is very unique because a lot of the the questions in the market is, oh, okay, this company's going to phase 2, it's going to need money to advance this and whatnot, and this is a non-dilutive way for us to now advance our phase 2 without having that pressure on the stock, if you say, for us to go out to the markets to raise capital. So we are well primed or positioned for PharmaTher, or I guess Newscope, is to take it to become at the next level, which they'll, with our valuation, you can see, and your investors are probably more educated than I am in this, is that there's a substantial disconnect between our valuation and our peers. Right? Yep. I mean, you can see that's evidence, but then you look at our company, it's like, okay, they're in the psychedelic sector, check. How about their patent situation? Well, we have 19 granted patents and patent applications that we have for worldwide rights. Okay, that's pretty good, check. We have a clinical product pipeline that's going into phase 2 for large unmet medical needs, Parkinson, depression, PTSD, eventually even in pain, all with our unique formulation that will change the way how these diseases are being treated. Okay, check. So now we're on this, this cusp of, we're here now is to make the community understand about our company, and to understand that, wow, okay, we see this disconnect, and and to kind of move us forward to the next level to allow us to continue our development and bring these products to eventually to market. So these are these things with the company now we're going through. We're a fairly new company as well. So I founded the company last year, early of 2020. So, and things do take time, but now the timing is right for us to get to that next level.
Do you have a goal? We got a lot of members here that like your company, that already own the stock. A lot of them are interested in getting into the stock. Do you have a goal as far as market cap? Your market cap's a baby market cap right now.
Yeah.
I think that 100 million market cap is very reasonable. I think you're probably around a 35 million market cap right now, if I do the numbers correct. Like 70 million shares at 50 cents, about a 35 million market cap. So
Canadian, yeah.
Canadian. Yeah. So 100 million market cap, is that like a goal of yours? I mean, 100 million market cap will put you guys at about $1.50. Is that something that is reasonable? Do you guys look at that? Is that a goal that you look to achieve? Does that even matter to you? Is that something you guys think about?
Yeah, like we to have some sort of goal. I mean, it would be foolish for me to say that we would like to have, or our goal is to be 100 million. We're not we're not doing what we're doing to be a 100 million market cap company. That's just evident. The goal is to take this company to $1 billion market cap, right? And how we're going to do it is evident in our pipeline. We're going after large indications that already has scientific and clinical validation, and we're doing it in a unique way. So if you take a company like Compass, okay, who is in phase 2B clinical studies with their psilocybin for treatment resistant, they're at, I guess, a $1.5–2 billion market cap American. You have a company like MindMed, who now doesn't have an FDA program. They're doing a lot of work out in Europe in LSD and MDMA, and I applaud them because I think they're doing great work. And their market cap's at, I believe, $1.5 billion, right? And then you have these other players who are kind of treading in that, say, 100 to 250 million market cap range, but they all have different businesses, because some may have a clinic strategy where they're expanding in the physical clinics to treat these patients. Other ones are in the kind of these biotech psychedelic companies, you know, like Cybin and whatnot. They have their own little delivery system, and they're trying to do psilocybin and whatnot, and they're trading at level. They have great backing. They have great investors, right? You know, we're just new. We came out of just like, you know, raise funds through, I guess more of like friends and family and whatnot, and then now institutions. And now we've kind of built this quietly, this pipeline, where if you were to put our company in one of the other companies I just mentioned, you know, that would propel them to another level, or even justify those types of market caps as well. So again, do I look at the market caps of these other companies? As you can see, I do. Do I have a set goal of a specific, like we reach one end and we're done and we achieve? Absolutely not. But we are shooting for that star. So to suggest that we could be $1 billion market cap, a $500 million market cap, or whatever million market cap, that's the investors are going to have to do their due diligence to dig deep and to understand where's that disconnect. We're an open-based company here. You can go on our deck. You can see every patent we have licensed. You can see all the clinical data we have. There's nothing that leads to the eye of the beholder here, and everyone can do their own due diligence on it.
Fabio, super impressed with everything you're doing. We're running out of time. If there's one thing you want investors that are watching to know about PharmaTher, what would it be?
The bottom line is we're a young company that's just on the cusp of going to the next level with our clinical or ketamine-based program in Parkinson's and depression, and we'll be conducting clinical trials soon, which that value inflection point of our company will marry with the other of our peers. So, you know, all I can say is to your viewers is just continue to follow us, continue to try to root for us, and even root for everyone in the sector of psychedelics, because, you know, it's time that the game has to change of how patients are being treated for their mental health or neurological and pain disease. The drugs out there right now, the side effects, they're just not, they're not up to snuff. So we're all doing our part to make this world a better place. And, you know, we've carved an area that we can definitely help in that endeavor. So again, I thank everyone for viewing. And if you have any questions, you can call me, go on our website at pharmather.com. And you can email me at info@pharmather.com, or our 1-800 numbers there. And have any questions, feel free to call me anytime.
Fantastic. The CEO of PharmaTher, Newscope Capital Corp, symbol PHRM in Canada, PHRRF. Fabio did mention that they will be looking at getting a German listing by the summer. So stay tuned. Get your popcorn ready. Put them on your radar. Put them on your watch list. I believe this is a company that's undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed, and it's just getting started. Thank you for your time, Fabio, and have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you, Rich. And thank you, everyone. Take care.
Keep up the good work, and we hope to have you on the show soon.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you, Fabio. Cheers.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. Other than that, we wish you guys